Hi, guys.
It's Monday. We should switch this meeting for Monday
to Tuesday or something. You know what? I'm hoping that Lindsay and Kirsten are not watching in Europe trying to figure out what the heck is going on.
Yeah, they're sleeping somewhere.
I hope so.
So Rick just chatted back. Thank you, Rick. Last thing I heard was 90% of business comes from relationships and referrals. So we got some catching up to do.
Yeah.
We're going to try and finish off this segment. We're going to skip the blue lifestyle segment. We'll put that on another week just so we can get you guys out on a time. I'm going to keep the chat open, so apologize for my computer, but I'm going to just keep the chat open so we can see if anything goes down. So we are up here.
Yeah.
So chatting about 90% of transactions happen as a result of a relationship or a referral. And then we talked about the Paretos Principle and how 20% of the business, or 20% of the people do 80% of the business. And it's interesting how those two things correlate. The 20% of the people who are operating their business like a business and have marketing plans and contact relationship management systems, those people are doing the majority of the volume. And Tom Ferry touched point on that only 3% of agents will do about 20 or more transactions. I think he said 25 in all of the United States, which is incredible. In CREB, I believe it's about 20% of the agents will do more than 20 transactions. But think about that. It's operating your business like a business and not being a hobbyist in this in what we do.
So let me ask you this question. What if I'm an individual, a realtor, that really doesn't have that gift or doesn't know how to operate my business as a business? What should I do?
Attend some classes.
Really?
Yeah. And we were talking about...
And I say that facetiously because I have been getting more involved with the curriculum of the bachelor program, more involved in that. I'm paying more attention to it. And really, if you take into, if you really implement those items that Lindsay and the rest of the education group teaches in the bachelor program, there is no reason why you would fail.
Right. And we wanted to touch base on why we're doing the things that we're doing and what we can do to stay in touch with our sphere of influence. And it really ties into the company's vision as we've been able to articulate now. It's something we've been working towards for years, but never been able to articulate.
Yeah, it just sort of came together, hey?
Yeah.
Part of our vision says that we exist to expose the excellence of our realtors. So we use that statement in so many ways, but one of the ways is because it is the reason why we offer so many of the services that we do. So the marketing department, all of the options that are offered to you as a realtor within CIR, the different marketing options that you can take advantage of. So things like the quarterly cards that go out. So St. Patrick's Day, Canada Day, Thanksgiving, Christmas, the My Marketing, the JPEGs or the digital images that we can use, that you can use for your new listings, and the feature sheets. Remember when we didn't even have feature sheets?
Yeah.
And now it's so simple for you to use this service at CIR.
Oh, the presentations, the newsletters. My career was established on a newsletter and open houses.
Really? Yeah.
I'm actually pretty embarrassed of the newsletter that I was sending out because we didn't have the graphic support that we do. But yeah, it was awful. But people still signed up and they appreciated me caring enough to send it.
Yeah.
And they reciprocated in business. And
I think the other thing, I mean, there's so many things, the professional development, but the marketing as well, that is such a huge support for your business and getting your name out there to your circle of influence. And Best My Nest.
When we talked about Best My Nest to agents outside of CIR, their minds are just blown.
Yeah. Well, never mind that. The clients that you tell about it, they're like, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's really about focusing on providing value to people throughout their whole ownership experience, as opposed to just looking at a 3 or 4 month window where they're thinking about buying and selling. And we want to be that provider of value throughout their whole experience, not just for the sale. And so it's working.
Yeah. I think the other really huge thing about CIR that we offer to our realtors, and I think this was evident on the weekend as I was taking some quick connect calls as I was on call, but the way we can expose your excellence is the management team and the constant support that you get. So you, on the weekend, you're working with a client and you've run into a bit of a problem, you have access to 6 or 7 managers within minutes who can help you go to the next step in your transaction or the next step with that client relationship. And that, again, exposes your excellence.
Yeah, support is huge.
Yeah.
And
the relationships that we have with our realtors are huge.
And developing the business around, like we're talking about the resources that are available if you don't have anything else, but it is so important to focus on your strengths and what you were excellent at. And it's not supposed to be cookie cutter. I mean, our true value proposition to the people that already know, like, and trust us is the fact that we're going to care more about doing a good job for them than somebody that they just met.
Yeah.
And it's just human nature. Mm-hmm. And while they might meet an excellent agent that is going to do a good job for them, those relationships are pretty key. And one thing that always drove me was, if I don't work for my friends, family, the people that I know, somebody else is going to. And I don't know if they're going to do a good job.
Yeah.
So I don't mind making a mistake. I shouldn't say that. It drives me nuts. But I know that I'm going to fix it, and I'm going to fix it properly. So to protect your business and to establish that is really key in being able to just systemize and continue to grow your business by offering value and doing a good job.
Yeah, yeah. You know, on a positive note, as we're talking about this, I've had a couple of conversations in the last week with a couple of realtors, some who are struggling and don't know what their next step should be, and some who are just killing it. So one of them was with a realtor who had successfully negotiated 5 conditional transactions in the last 7 days. And then the other one was a fairly new realtor who since July 1st had successfully negotiated 7 transactions. So the business is out there. Now, I'm not telling you that to say the business is out there, go out and get some. I'm telling you that because there are success stories out there. And I was wondering if you, while you're on the chat, if you would share some of your successes with the rest of the realtors to encourage and to support each other. And I don't mean talk about the latest transaction that you were able to successfully negotiate. I'm talking about even the small wins, like how you've been working maybe with a particular person and you finally got them to convince them, or you furthered that relationship with them where they finally come to the point where they trust you and believe in what you're saying. Mm-hmm. Or maybe it's that you had sent out a card at Canada Day and someone just came home from vacation, opened it, and were blown away that you would recognize that it was Canada's birthday and took a moment to express that with the people that you know. Anything, but would you share it on the chat to encourage the other realtors? And could you remember that this week? Try and remember some positive things that happen in the day and maybe document them. Mm-hmm. Those sorts of gratitudes too, I know we do that every morning, but maybe try and concentrate through the day, the little positive things that happen. And if you want, make notes about it, but at the very least, just take note of it within your own brain.
Well, and tracking your daily activities is going to be key to that, because you have to know when you have a successful day.
Yeah.
And so it's often the little consistent activities that lead to the big successes of having a roll of 5 transactions. And that's awesome when it's all steamrolling and it works well, but it's often as a result of all the daily activities that lead up to that.
So maybe we shouldn't be thinking about the success is the transaction and the firm transaction. Maybe, and this is what I used to do, is my successful day was if I could guard my time in the morning and I was in my office making my calls in the morning, and then if by the end of my morning session on a Tuesday, I had the rest of my week full of appointments, that was a success, because if I had all those appointments, the other things just fell into place.
That's true. And that's the perfect way to gauge the health of your business is how many appointments you have in your calendar.
Yeah.
If you don't have any appointments in your calendar, your business is in trouble.
Yeah.
Everything, whatever you do, has to boil down to setting appointments. And whether or not it's marketing or face-to-face, everything has to lead to that setting an appointment. And then those appointments take care of the rest of the stuff that keeps your business going.
Yes.
But if you neglect the day-to-day consistent, then it just all falls apart.
Yeah.
And that's where we're going to talk about getting back to the basics and establishing a daily routine. If you don't have a routine, or if your routine's stale and it's not working for you, refresh it. I just refreshed mine this week, and today was the first day of my new routine, and it's gone horribly awry, as they often do, but...
You're going to try again tomorrow.
Yeah, and it's just the consistency.
Yeah.
So
it takes a little while to get a new habit going, right? We've always talked about that, but
totally.
Just keep trying.
Yeah, and you can't let anything that gets in your way stop everything.
Yeah.
Like, and to give you an example, one of my new habits, I'm trying to get back into the routine of running in the morning, and I'll watch some motivational stuff while I'm running, or real estate related videos, and that starts at 5 o'clock in the morning. This morning my son had a fever, as I had explained, and came in, he was just cooking hot, and so I had to adjust and still got the activity done, but it was modified and my whole day has been kind of off, but tomorrow's a new day.
Right.
5 o'clock comes, and I'll do it.
Yeah.
So establishing a daily routine, reviewing your business plan, or creating one if you don't have one. We've got a fantastic tool on the What You Need to Know section if you need to.
Yeah, it's a great template, and it's really easy to use, you guys. So if you haven't looked at it, just skim through it. Just pick out what would work for you. Start there, and then maybe that will motivate you to go dig in a little bit deeper.
We talked about appointments, and I want to touch on this a little bit more, but I've got in here, you have to have some type of strategy to have some type of conversation with people. If you're not comfortable calling people, and you're, like, some people just text their friends all the time, and if that's how you communicate with them, that's how you communicate with them. Don't get so stuck in this is the way that it's got to get done.
Yeah.
Just have conversations. Eventually, any marketing activities, any strategy, all leads to trying to get a face-to-face. Business happens as a result of being face-to-face, so you should be setting those appointments.
What's that saying of we attract like-minded people?
Yes.
So if you are a texter and that's how you communicate with your friends who know, like, and trust you,
Yeah.
that's probably how they'll communicate as well. I am not trying to cut you guys some slack here, because there is a point in time where you are going to have to pick up the phone, dial the number, have that conversation, or maybe it is that you need to go and walk your neighborhood, knock on the door, introduce yourself, because again, if your business is slow, you might need to create some new relationships.
Right. And that goes back to everything works, it just doesn't work for everybody.
Yeah.
So figuring out what works for you. I've door knocked, don't like door knocking.
I love door knocking.
Did you? It's funny. The best door knocking story I ever heard. A lady that she's retired and she did phenomenal at it. At least I think she's retired. Anyways, she was door knocking and got a really grumpy guy, and just I'll clean up the language, but it was just not a pleasant experience. She walked around to the back door, knocked on the door. This is a true story. I wouldn't have believed it if she didn't tell me. Knocked on the back door. He opened the door. You could imagine his reaction. She's like, I just wanted to see if the guy at the back was as big of as the guy at the front door. They ended up working together. She got a client out of it because that guy needed a strong personality, like attracts like, and she...
Good story.
Yeah, like, I would never have done that.
No.
Can you imagine? But it's working with what tools and strengths that you have.
Yeah.
And yes, you're going to have to go outside of your comfort zone, but you don't have to. If it doesn't work for you, then let's find something that does.
Yeah, yeah.
Review some of the strategies on the business plan and the closing percentages that come along with them. And if you don't know how to do these strategies, there's classes, there's ample amount of agents that love to share within our industry. There's the management team. But if we go through some of the stuff, and I'll just read off a few of these, but database referrals, past sellers and clients, open houses, networking, door knocking, FSBOs, websites, just listed, just sold strategies, farming, social media, agent-to-agent referrals. My first 3 deals in real estate were as a result of agent-to-agent. I ended up covering for some agents while they were away for the spring market. I took a vacation, and thankfully, because it took me longer than most to get a deal going.
Yeah.
I was licensed in October, got my first deal accepted in March, and the first 3 were as a result of covering for another agent because I was in the office consistently.
Cool.
Strategic alliance, direct mail. Direct mail, if you can afford to do it, I do not believe it's dead. It just, you have to have the right approach and the right strategies.
Yeah, and you have to have the right product, and
Yes.
it has to,
Yeah.
So you're right, if you've got the budget.
Email campaigns, builders, investors, blogging, real estate reviews, home ownership programs, along with your flow marketing campaigns. And that's just a few. We've got the conversion ratios, which I'm not going to, all of this is in the business plan, but the conversion ratios, it's funny because so many agents focus on the lead, cold calling, online lead generation, and cold direct mail. And all together, those have about a 2% conversion ratio.
Yeah, so you've got to make, let's just say you're making 100 calls, you might be able to convert 2 of those.
Right.
But if you door knock?
Now, if you're door knocking, that one's 1% conversion ratio. The face-to-face activities, open houses, walk-ins, past buyers and sellers, the referrals.
The referrals, yeah.
Referrals is 67% closing ratio, which is enormous.
It is enormous. So the first step is you've got to get out there, create your morning, you've got to get those appointments, you've got to do a couple of deals, then you can get some referrals.
Well,
everybody has to start.
And see, I don't necessarily agree with that.
Oh, he never agrees with that.
Well, that's why I like working with you, because we think so alike, but we also...
We can banter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody, whether or not they're a past client or not, knows somebody that's moving.
True.
So all you have to do is establish to that person that you are the professional in real estate, that they should be looking to you as advice.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
So making sure that you have that value proposition, and whether or not they're a past client or not, having an annual marketing campaign or flow guide that you can plug somebody into is the first step.
Yeah.
Because then when you're having coffee with somebody, or you're at a party and everybody's talking about their honey-do list and we've got to do this, and well, why don't we hook you up with this vendor?
That's my Nest program, and then we've got vendors on there that you could use, then you'd get a discount. I mean, you're having drinks with someone, and you just bring this up, and they're like, really? Wow.
Yeah.
You would do that for me.
Yeah, no
And
problem.
suddenly you're there.
And then you're just plugging in the marketing. And it's not the old school, hey, are you thinking about buying and selling, or do you know anybody that is in the next 90 days? I mean, you do have to ask for business at the right time, but in social situations, having the right conversations, knowing what to say when somebody says, how's the market? And Lindsay's got an entire topic in the bachelor program on how to answer that question, because it is important how you answer the question. And the answer right now isn't it's shit, pardon my French, but there's aspects of the market that
are doing really, really well, and there's aspects of the market that are not.
And it's our job to educate people on how to make a good decision fit for their family.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
you know, all of these things that Steve is just talking about, some of you may not have even considered or recognized some of the things he said. So Flow Guide. If you don't know what that is, it's available to you on the virtual office. But if you don't know what it is, then call one of us and talk to us about it, because that is another tool that not I didn't have much to do with it, but someone here, some beautiful person has developed it, and it's there for you to use and to increase the business that you could potentially have.
Yeah.
So if anything we're talking about seems like Greek to you, then call us. Call one of your managers so that we can help you get this going for yours.
Now, I just looked at the time. I know we're about 10 minutes over, so we'll try and wrap this up. If you guys do have any questions, by all means, touch base with any one of the office managers.
Yeah.
But I do want to say...
I want to talk about this one, the reward.
That's what I was... Okay.
Yeah. You know, we talk about set up your day, spend the morning in your office, make those phone calls. That isn't, I mean, nobody wants to, especially if it's a nice day outside, nobody wants to sit in their office and make some phone calls or plan their business or whatever. But set yourself up. If you do that, then say to yourself, let's just get this one thing done, and then I'll reward myself with, what does that look like? Is it you're going to go and spend time with your dog out at a dog park? Is it you get to go and buy a latte at Starbucks? Or do you need to take another step back and go, what is the lifestyle dream that I have? And if I can hit this goal in the next 12 months, I get to reward myself with a trip to Paris. Whatever it looks like for you, make sure you reward yourself.
Yeah.
Life and this business, you will not enjoy it if you don't get the opportunity to enjoy what you create for yourself.
Yeah, it's not all about... Real estate can be all-encompassing.
Oh, my goodness.
And it will... I always joke. It'll take everything that you give it, including your dog. There's a high divorce rate.
Right?
But going back to it's the means to live the lifestyle that you choose. And whenever I'm goal setting, I like to ask the question, what's one thing in your life you haven't achieved that you could through a change or choice in business? And that's what will get you motivated to do the consistent activities, and it will lead to success. And you can build off of those little wins. So reward yourself. Plan your rewards, plan your goals, review and create your goals and adjust if needed. Set your goal based on appointments. So many of us say, okay, I need to do X amount of transactions. But how many appointments do you have to do to get to that transaction? So just start by setting appointments.
So on that note, though, you know how we encouraged everybody to set their goals for 2018, 9 months ago? Isn't this a really good time now to be looking at that goal?
Yes.
Seeing where we're at, and if we're not on track for that goal, shouldn't we be reevaluating and maybe adjusting that goal?
Yep. Fourth quarter, perfect time to be reevaluating and not necessarily making excuses or making it easier on yourself, but having a realistic review of your goals and seeing where you line up and how you need to adjust. You either have to adjust your goal down if you haven't achieved it, or adjust your activities up. Those are your two options.
Yeah.
There's nothing else.
Yeah.
So either do more activities or set your goal lower. And there isn't a wrong decision. It just depends on what you want out of this business.
Yeah.
And treating it like a business. So I would suggest if you haven't created a business plan, do it.
And again, we've got the template on the virtual office in the what you need to know section.
Yeah.
So it's not like you have to sit down and do some sort of bank type business plan. This is just a business plan for your business. And we've set the template up for you. It's really easy. I want to encourage you to, if you have to do those steps first.
Yeah.
Look at the business plan. Look at that template. Try and do as much of it as you can. And then if you need encouragement, or if you really feel like you need a kick in the butt from one of your managers, whatever it is, encouragement, a kick in the butt, phone us. We're happy to sit with you and go through those. Maybe you just need us to ask you some questions so you can refine what you've got there so far. That's what we're here for, and we want to help you. We want to expose your excellence.
Take control of your business and take action.
Yeah.
That's what it boils down to. And then there's ample resources if you need it.
Yeah.
So.
And your business is not like anyone else's. It's not a cookie cutter type business. So we are not expecting you to do what the next guy does or the guy before. We want to work with where your strengths are. So just know that. We're not here to judge. We just want to help you get to the place where you want to be.
I think that's a really good way to end the meeting. Our goal is to help you achieve your goals.
Yeah.
Reach out if you need a hand. And sorry we ran late. Sorry we didn't get through all the content.
Yeah.
Sorry we had technical difficulties, but such is life, and we won't let it affect our day. We'll have a great day, so I hope you guys do too.
Have a good week.